This here is not only my favourite horror game ever made, but also probably the scariest I've ever played, and that still gets me to this day. Call me whatever you want to call me, that's just how it affects me. Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Did that sound like a very similar introduction to the section I made in my top 10 horror games video when I spoke about this game? Yes, well, to be perfectly honest, I was quite proud on how I summed up my feelings for Amnesia in that video, so I'm just going to retread a lot of what I said and add a few bits in. Consider this like an extended thoughts kind of thing, I hope you don't mind. But yeah, why do I consider this my favourite horror game? It's not the best looking game on this list, nor is it the deepest with the gameplay, but all it's concerned about is making you wake up with amnesia.
It's funnier the second time you tell the joke.
And not only have your main character confused and remembering everything that happened in this demented castle you're in, but also the player confused by battling multiple gameplay mechanics with no single straight objective and no single straight story, as you are uncovering everything bit by bit, being disturbed by the monstrous shitheads and other characters, and then being even more disturbed as you piece together why it's all happening. It's a game set out to disorient and unsettle you from the start, and it doesn't just do that from presentation and story, but gameplay also. Most horror games in which you're running for your life in dimly lit corridors rely on, well, just that, and you being spotted or not determines on you being chased. And the punishment for failure is death, a slight bit of aggravation, and an attempt again. It's basically a two-way gameplay shift experience. But here, I get so freaked out in this game that any progress I lose while panicking and dying usually leads me to being more afraid of replaying everything I already conquered, and therefore more afraid of death itself. And it doesn't help how the fucked up designs of these things are the things that will grant death to you. Or, you know, an invisible water monster, that's always something. Now, this isn't just a two-way gameplay shifting experience. Compared to other horror games, there are conflicts of priorities constantly. You could be solving a puzzle that requires exploring different rooms for each piece while hiding for your life as the sickly animated monsters and droning ear-ringing music rises. Then solving said puzzle in a big room with lots of things to look at and lots of levers to pull while checking behind your shoulder for something that might have followed you in. You could be putting your lantern out to keep hidden in the darkness away from the monsters, but doing this affects your sanity, making you see and hear awful things that not only freak you out but also distort your play even more. In saying that, lantern oil is extremely limited, as are tinder boxes to light torches around the castle, so even if you think you can get away with playing safely or risking using a lot of light to keep your sanity up but then keeping yourself open to be spotted, you can't do that, really. You have barely any control. Cowardness is not rewarded, slow thinking is not rewarded, and basically Amnesia rocks. Amnesia is unforgettable. That's a fucking awful joke. Today's Pixel Empire deal in the description below is one that I love and has many famous horror people in it to keep the theme of this particular video. These are the characters that you should never high-five. It's very important, you need to let people know. It's pretty much a billboard on your chest. But you can go ahead and high-five me for telling you this. You get free priority shipping for any order over $50. Pretty cool, eh? And the 15% off Caddy coupon code still applies. All of those things are worth a high-five, even if you have knife fingers. And until tomorrow, stay tuned and stay beautiful.